This song? This song is why I started up this stream. This one right here. Oh yes, we have voice. I just, I have to spend like 10 minutes setting up, doing stuff, eating a slice of pizza. Okay, so we were in Nasrad Port. As Fina and Aka. Got some stuff we gotta do. Importantly about this stuff is that we have no moonfish, no chams. It's for now. What we do gotta do, talk to this gentleman. This is the guy that we escorted to the border. That he starts talking about, yeah, you guys had a fight. Fine. You'll eventually fall in love with him again. Okay, so we're not allowed to buy any weaponry. Because basically, we don't have any money except for that 5,000 that we have. So importantly, the merchant gives us something called an Aberric charm, which is a special item that causes Cupel to immediately go to a next form. The problem with the Aberric charm is that it has like defined stages. So there's this entire flowchart about what Cupel will turn into when, while you're feeding him charms and chams and such. There's a thing back there that I can't get to right now. Yeah, there's a specific set of evolutions that Cupel will have based on exactly how many chams you've given him, how many Aberric chams you've given him, and also in what order. Actually kind of important. Right now, I'm just checking for treasure chests. There are a number of treasure chests to be gotten in this area, but the problem is that several of these treasure chests become missing. They go away. There is a thing that will happen in a little bit, and it will cause Nasrad to change forever. And if you did not get your treasure chests in time, we're not gonna go there. Yeah, so that's what Choms are for. So Choms will force Cupel to throw up all chams you've given him and all Aberric chams you've given him, which will reset his form back to basic, and then you have those chams and Aberric chams to refeed him as necessary. Absolutely right. Hey, Exo Green. Thank you for the cheers. Oh, and I didn't mention, Gia, thank you for the, you are number one. Thank you for the host. I appreciate it. You are now immortalized as number one, at least for the time being. Okay, so I could have sworn that guy allowed me to sell discovery information I have now, but apparently not. Yeah, I actually do know where some of the chests are. I was just double-checking to make sure. There's one that's currently blocked off by some boxes on the other side of this area. But I do need to get one or two that are over here. Especially these ones that are this one or these two, I forget how many there are, that I'm getting right now. This is the one that you can't get later. Kind of neat. This actually shows off just how kind of bustling of a port Maramba is. Or not Maramba, Nasrad. There's the chest. A single Sylph Seed. Project Sylph was good, though. I intend to play that on the stream eventually. Hooked up my Xbox 360 just to play that game. Okay. All these people say stuff. The only reason I come here is for that chest. The boxes that cast spells, some of the most useless items in the game. Well, that's not fair. We did use a box to beat, Barda. Yeah, but the VMU didn't have, or the Dreamcast version just didn't have anything. Love that eyebrow. And I have the Dreamcast version sitting on a shelf behind me. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the stuff that, like, should be on, or that is on the Legends is not on the original version. So, oh no, we missed out on the VMU, but we also have bounties, moonfish, Piastol, like 12 extra discoveries, Go over this list last stream, and now I can't remember what else there is. The post-game content, I believe, is exclusive to Legends. Well, not post-game, but that stuff. Who do I have to talk to? Is Innkeeper? Like, I like the VMUs, don't get me wrong. But I have yet to see anything on a VMU that added considerably to gameplay value. There we go. That's what I want. What are we gonna do tomorrow? The same thing we do every day, Finky. Try to get another ship and go find Vice. Yo, there's a scale in literature. And it talks about female characters, and then it asks basically, are they a true female character? Are they a good female character? And one of the requirements is, can they have a conversation without talking about the guy? Can they have a conversation without talking about the male character? Okay. So what I'm kind of moderately curious on is how Fina and Aika rack up on that, because they are both, in my opinion, undeniably good characters. They don't, I mean, like, nobody in this game has amazing characterization, but they have decent characterization, but they just had a quick question of, I wonder where Vice is. I think it's more just, hey, we have a friend, than, you know, a romantic inclination. Because there really is no romance in this game. Like, there legitimately is nothing romantic in this game that happens. There are a couple things that you could, like, almost say is romance. But, is that what it is the Bechdel test? That sounds about right. So, there are a couple of things you could say are kind of romantic. There's a couple of nights that Vice, like, comforts people and things like that. But I think there's a decent argument you could say that Vice is a really good friend who helps everybody he cares about. Which, you know, is kind of borne out when you see him do pretty much anything else. So, if it's not romantic, does that count? I'm curious. it is said multiple times, like, Clara just said it in the last stream. You know, man, you both have feelings for him. So, you know, there is a legitimate statement there. But at the very same time, the girls are kind of going to get on their own. They've been doing things. You know, freaking Aika is an established pirate in her own right. And, you know, kind of a good fighter. Fina came to, well, did her thing. Or do we care about spoilers? I mean, this game's old, and I've played it twice. But Fina's kind of on her own mission to do things on her own, and while she does need help, she's got no idea what's going on, you know, she kind of handles her own. So, they both are kind of doing their own thing. Vice has vanished. The both of them are still, you know... Both of them are kind of still doing their own thing. They're not just sitting there pouting, waiting for Vice to come back. They're both gonna, you know, do their deal. They're gonna buy a ship. Well, yeah, in a lot of ways, the, you know, when it comes to the whole romance thing, a lot of it is straight swashbuckler choices. And, you know, if you kind of look at it that way, it's like, Vice isn't even being romantic, he is being the best pirate he can be. And part of that, apparently, is, you know, comforting people in time of need. So I guess I'm curious where Fina and Aika show up on that test, because their conversation literally talked about a guy at the very tail end. And it was only just a, I wonder how he's doing. Does that count? I'm curious. Also, hey, lots of people just came in. Look at the viewer count. So, hey, everybody. Please come say hi. I'm running on autopilot right now with this game, because this is one of the most boring sections of the game. So please come say hi and give me something to talk about. Like, the Castaway section of Skies of Arcadia is the slowest and most boring section of this game. Without question. And actually, this portion of the Castaway section is the most boring section of the Castaway section. Because I forget how much we have to get. It's something like 9 grapboard meat. I think we have to get 9, if I remember correctly. The character spotting in the background is actually extremely cool. That's actually one of the things that I love, probably the most about this game, is that you do get to see the characters fighting in the background. I mean, nowadays we have, you know, Final Fantasy 13, and we have Ni no Kuni and other games where we actually legitimately have NPC characters who are legitimately fighting in the background. But in this, it was just a cool observation. And absolutely, yeah. So we have the new Discord for those who are interested. So for those in the stream, Discord link is actually below the stream now. Should stay there permanently. I actually had a Discord link last night, which I was gonna have be permanent, but for some reason it wouldn't allow me to recapture that Discord link. I don't know why, so I had to kill it and remake it. So I apologize to those who were on the YouTube side of things that tried to use that link. That is my fault. But yeah, absolutely, post the link if anybody wants to join. I will eventually do something with that Discord, but at the very least, it's a very easy place for you guys to kind of not only say hi, but also I'll post in there whenever I'm about to stream or about to do something. Literally nothing going on in there, but hey, it's a thing it's a thing that exists. It's cool. Okay, so Fenix, there's kind of a fair amount that's going on. Yay, we got 2 more people that just joined the Discord. Hey guys. To put it simply, we have Vice, who is the main character who we're playing now. Vice is what is known as a blue rogue. So in this world is a, I'll go show you a look in just a second. But, this world is a kind of world that consists of only sky. The actual, like, ground of the world was destroyed in something called the Rains of Destruction, some, you know, thousands of years ago, whatever. And so what we have left are flying islands. So the idea here is that the people use magical stones that have fallen from the 6 moons of the planet to do a variety of things, including being their weapons, as well as powering airships, air pirate ships specifically. And you will see plenty in the very near future. So the idea is Vice is a blue rogue. He is one of a series of pirates. So let me go up here so you can kind of see that. He is one of a series of pirates called the Blue Rogues, and they're kind of the Robin Hood style pirates. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see much from this view, because the entire point is right now we are a castaway and we can't see any other island anywhere. But what you see down there, that is kind of the floor of the sky area that we live in. Anywhere below that is like super intense pressure. Think like the ocean, you know, over 150 feet down, or over 150 meters down. So, you know, that's the floor. We live above that, between kind of the sky floor, and then there's not really a good indication of this, but the sky ceiling that's up there. So we're on one of the flying islands, so whenever I get a chance to show you, you will notice this island is just kind of flying for no reason. They never really explain it. It's not important. So, you know, Vice is one of the Blue Rogues, so they're a little bit Robin Hood-like. They steal only from specifically a nation-state known as Valua, who is kind of an empire, a little bit evil, a little bit corrupt, kind of a little bit of things. And the idea is that they steal only from kind of like heavily armored merchant caravans. And that money is, you know, they use that money not only to further their own life, but also they occasionally use it to help the poor. So Blue Rogues are pirates, but kind of good guys. There's also, you know, there's also called the Black Pirates, or the bad pirates, so they exist too. So storyline-wise, the idea is that Vice, Aka, who is his best friend, and they're flying on his father's ship. They hit a Valuan battleship in an attempt to, you know, board and rob it, the usual thing. And in doing so, they learn that this battleship had recently taken on a prisoner, some girl named Athena. They rescue her and they bring her home. Turns out she's on a mission of some sort. This is a very special thing she has to do. So they're like, cool, join us. So immediately after they bring her home, the Valuan Armada attacks the pirates in their base, lays waste to the base, kidnaps everybody, and takes them to Valua, which is this really big city behind a fortress. Vice decides he's going to save them. So he kind of slips into Valua, saves his dad and the crew, saves the girl Fina, and takes her home. And then after he takes her home, it turns out that Fina is on a very big mission. You know, she brings up the Rain of Destruction, which was all these meteors that came down from the sky and kind of blasted the lands and made the flying islands what they are today. And it's her job to stop it from happening again, because apparently some really bad things are happening. Some people are reviving what are known as the 6 Gigas, these gigantic kind of living weapon sort of things. People are reviving them. One Gigas for each of the lands under the moons. There's the, you know, blue land of the blue moon, the purple land of the purple moon, so on and so forth. She's got to go to each of the lands and kind of stop the Gigas from being revived, specifically by finding these 6 gems that specifically cause the Gigas to come to life. So she says she's going to do that, but the problem is she doesn't know anything about the world, because she's basically never been to the world before. She's been from elsewhere. So Vice Aka volunteer to go help her, you know, kind of stop this from happening. So the entire storyline kind of goes from there. We explore the world, especially places that supposedly existed in fable, places that no one thought they could ever get to before. So we like to kind of explore and go from world to world. And as we kind of go from each of these lands, we very quickly learn that Valua is doing the same thing. They are the ones who are trying to revive the Gigas and get all of these gems. So we are actively trying to stop them from succeeding. And we kind of stop them at every turn. So the problem is that we were basically on a fishing boat. That's really all we were on, called the Little Jack, captained by Captain Drachma. We were on a fishing boat, and we did a lot of stuff, but eventually the fishing boat got shot down. We were helping Drachma try to basically take down his white whale. And while we were attacking the white whale, Valu attacked us. And then as we escaped in our, you can see it right there, the lifeboats of the Valuan armada actually shot down our lifeboats. Aka and Fina were rescued by another blue rogue. So they're fine, and that's why they're in Nasrad right now. The blue rogue dropped them off in Nasrad, and they're trying to get their own ship. Vice, on the other hand, was stranded as a castaway on Crescent Island, which is where we are now. He can't see basically anything anywhere nearby. There's no other islands within hailing distance. He found a dead body on here, which indicates that someone was here for a while. So we are playing right now as Vice, trying to kind of not only make life for himself on this island in case he has to be here for a while, but he's also trying to get his lifeboat working again. So you saw me hunt down the Grapor meat, which is him just getting food that he needs. Then we collected firewood, which is both for that signal fire you see up on the top of the promontory there, but he also collected firewood in order to kind of repair his lifeboat. So you'll see it's over there. It's still very well damaged. And now we're collecting moonstones in order to get fuel for the thing. So we're kind of collecting those. They're red moonstones, so we know we are in the Land of the Red Moon. Land of the Red Moon is Nasser. We've been there before. So Vice is an idea of where he is in the world right now. That's as quick as I can get on that. It's not a complicated story, but we have been playing for a good 11 hours now. I have been skipping every bit of cutscene. I will try to summarize what's going on a little bit, but I am kind of skipping through all the text because the third time I've played this game for either YouTube or Twitch. So if you really want the storyline, I did two full Let's Plays of it back in the day. You can find them on the channel. I swear Mako was part of one of them. Mako doesn't think he is. Mako is Endrian right there. Yeah, so there's only one game truly in the series that is Skies of Arcadia. I don't think the last one. I just gotta find one more stone. This is one of the reasons why the Castaway section sucks, because it's basically a scavenger hunt, and I can never remember where all the spawns are, because it's fixed spawns for all these things I'm looking for, and it's just, you gotta find each and every one, and they like to hide. There's only one game, Skies of Arcadia, otherwise known as Eternal Arcadia, came out on the Dreamcast, and was actually, it's basically what you're seeing here. Like, not really much changed in the re-release, but it was beloved enough that they remade it for the GameCube, called it Skies of Arcadia Legends, and they added a bunch of features that you heard me talk about earlier. Was that it? Is that there? That's it right there. Okay. Named it Skies of Arcadia Legends and re-released. They did the same thing with another one of my favorite Dreamcast RPGs called Evolution. I will play the Evolution on stream soon. I will not play the GameCube version because I don't like it. But yeah, this game's one of my favorites. And what we're hoping for is the company Atlas. No, you're right, Endrian. I just couldn't remember. The game company Atlas, who is known for, among other things like Persona, was recently in the past couple of years, given permission by Sega to go into any RPG in Sega's library and remake or re-release as they will. And it just so happens that Skies of Arcadia is a Sega game. So there is actually hope amongst the community that Atlas will actually remake this for us. Either give us a sequel, which a sequel would actually work in this game. I'm not sure what they do with it, but they could do a sequel. Alternatively, they could just give us a remake. I would love not an HD remake, but I would love a full-on re-release of this game with new graphics. I think it would work very well. So we're kind of hoping. So if there is another game, that's kind of where it would come from. And Vice is a total badass and somehow gets this ship going. So as you can see, this is kind of the smallest airship you will see in this game, because it's literally just a lifeboat. But the ships do fly. They're not ocean-bound. They do fly. Yeah, Phoenix or anybody in the chat, if you have lost track of the plot as I skip through cutscenes, please let me know. I will summarize what's going on as best I can. Because we are just shy of the halfway point on the game. Story is actually a little bit sparse in the first half of the game. Shit's about to hit the fan. Like, actually, legitimately right now about to hit the fan. Because we just got spotted by another airship. Or, well, we're about to get spotted. We just spotted another airship, but, you know. We got a signal fire. We can get their attention. This is the Arcadia. The Arcadia is indicating that they have seen us. We're gonna be rescued. We will not die on this rock like Gonzalez did. You can get a very quick measure of who is on this ship by its surroundings. So, please meet the badass Captain Gilder. Also, this is where we actually learn exactly how old Vice is. He's around 17. I love Gilder because his parrot actually goes, "Oh baby, oh baby," and he outright says, "Man, if I was stranded on, this kid's lucky. If I was stranded on a desert island with no women for weeks, I don't know if I'd make it." Hello, bunch of new people. Yep, we're on the Arcadia. That's Willie. Willie will be very important to us in about 3 hours. Maybe less than that. 2 hours, maybe. So Vice is making a name for himself throughout the people of the... I'm pretty sure that was a swashbuckler choice I missed. I'm not 100% sure. Vice's like, "Yeah, I'm sure you get all the women. You're a really good-looking guy." He goes, "I don't want you to tell me that." Okay. Gilder has joined the party. He goes, "Yeah, but I do get all the women." Okay, so Gilder's joined the party. We are now able to fly the Arcadia. Now, we have a few things we can do. See, I remember where this is. There it is. Found the Skull Rock. Okay, so the big thing about this playthrough that I'm trying to do... Okay, we're not allowed to go north. That's fine. The big thing about this playthrough that I am trying to do is I am trying to do everything in the game by memory. There's the balloon seed. So, there's a lot of collectibles in this game. There's a lot of what they call discoveries. I just found 2 of them. Not allowed to mess with that. That's a shame. Just found 2 of them. So, discoveries are basically just more collectibles. They are found in the overworld, which is where we are. So, let me pull up the map. So, this is the overworld. If it is filled out, we have been there already. If it's blank, I have not been there. It's actually a really cool thing. I love this style of map. We're going here. So, what's very cool about this is that the discoveries are not only... they're placed around the world in kind of interesting areas. Gilder, by the way, is the only character in the game that we can control who uses a gun. So discoveries are everywhere. Sometimes they are visible, like the balloon seed just now. And sometimes they're invisible, like Skull Rock. I just have to kind of know where they are. Do I control vertical, flying, or just directional? I actually control both. It's not important necessarily now. We are in what's known as middle sky. you will see when I get back to full control of the game, there is a altimeter on the left-hand side that will tell me how high or low I am in middle sky at any given point in time. We'll show it off. Height is not necessarily important right now. I do have to be within a certain distance of discoveries to actually find them.
I wish they were all that easy.
Me too, Gilder. Me too. Oh, hey, he's actually on level with us. That's nice. So if you look right on the left-hand side, that is the altimeter. So you'll see I do have control over my height. So that is kind of important. However, as important as the altimeter actually is, come here, you. Come here, you. Nope, nope, nope. Come here. Come here, you little bastard. I will catch you, and I will catch you. Gimme. Another discovery. It actually is important. I have to be within a certain distance of these things. Otherwise, I can't actually get them. Now, what's important, will we be seeing a ship combat anytime soon? In about 2 hours. What is important is, as I said, there is the sky ceiling and the sky floor. We are currently bound by that. In the future, we will not be, and I'll be able to go even higher and even lower than I can now. I won't be able to do that for another 4 to 5 hours.
That was easy.
Okay, I think I have found everything that I can find right now, so let's go to Nasrad. Right here. So the reason why that was so exciting to get the map of ages right there is that, also, hi! Clara has found you. So Clara is a fun character who is hunting after Gilder. She's in love with him, and she badly wants his hand in marriage, among other things. He does not necessarily love her back, so she consistently hunts him, and he tries to get away. So I hope you liked that freedom that we just had in the Claudia, because we are now losing it. The reason I was excited about the map of ages down there is that if you get too close to Nasser, which we just did, this cutscene triggers, and we no longer have open world, well, not open world, but we no longer have open freedom on the overworld. Do they give any scientific magical reasoning? I'm not 100% sure. I think the general understanding here is that the masses of rock are filled with moonstones, and moonstones are just magical for a variety of reasons. Moonstones are the fuel that causes, moonstones are the fuel that causes the ships to fly in the first place. Our weapons are made of moonstones, which makes them not only incredibly durable, but also makes them react to specific colors of moonstones, and that coloration allows them to mimic the properties of those moonstones, including things like elemental effect. Moonstones are also responsible for us learning magic spells, all kinds of stuff. So there's kind of a variety of kind of things moonstones do. They're kind of the catch-all raritanium thing. They just do everything. Speaking of moon things... Is it not here yet? Oh, there it is. There's something that we are looking for called a moonfish. Gotta hunt down. Yeah, moonstones basically explain everything. Thought I saw it. Is it here? I could have sworn I saw this moonfish. The problem is there are two versions of Nasrad. There's this version, and there's a version that appears after the events that will happen in about an hour. The different versions of Nasrad actually have different things going on in them. Oh, I hear it. So I have to kind of make sure that I do everything in one version of Nasrad before it becomes the other version of Nasrad. Some things, like this moonfish, you can get in both versions, but some things you cannot get in both versions. Bird spell type color, red is most important, silver is next important, green is next important, everything else is pretty much useless. But we've kind of already hit the point in the game where almost all spells are useless. That's good. Also, you're on the wanted poster. Okay, so I just want to point this out. Nope, no one I know. That's Vice on the left-hand side. Okay, so we got some money for defeating Gordo. Anything else? I missed the Sky Coral. Oh, Domingo found the Sky Coral. God damn it. Find that stuff. So the problem with spells, and this is, you know, this is kind of just a legitimate problem with spells in general. It's got, nothing to do, with the magic system. They tried to make the magic system good. The problem is, magic uses two different, what do I want to use here? It's got kind of two different MP systems at the same time. There is MP, and there's what is known as spirit points. Oh, that's right. Right. I have to go to the inn. So, MP is something that all characters have. All characters do have MP. So, you'll notice Vice is 10 MP. Gilder has 9 MP. So, MP, you have a specific amount. And the idea is that every turn, and you actually saw this in combat just now, I just didn't call it out because there's no reason to call it out at the time. In combat, you will see a bar across the top of the screen labeled SP, or otherwise known as Spirit Points. So the way this works is that, yeah, I already got that chest. I don't think there's any other chest that I'm missing. Hope not, because if I'm missing anything right now, it's gone forever. So whenever you cast a spell in combat, every spell only takes 1 MP, but it does take a certain amount of SP. So, for example, a Cure spell, the base level Cure spell, is 1 MP and 4 SP. The Revive spell, called Rissalim, is 1 MP and 8 SP. Well, the problem is, right now, we're only gaining... well, last time the full party was together, we only gain 7 SP per turn. And that sounds like a lot, but remember, not only is that covering your, covering all of your spells. This out. Not only covering your spells, but there's also things called super moves. They're really powerful and really useful moves that, that. We are going to buy that just in case. I don't know who can actually wield those, so we're not going to... But you use super moves for your actual full-on damage. Super moves also happen to use SP. So the problem is that the magic spells that you're using use the SP that you would rather use for super moves. And then when you also combine this with the fact that, you combine this with the fact that most good magic spells, we can get an item version of it, and the item version does not cost MP, and it also does not cost SP. So in general, when it comes to any healing or any buff spell, all buffs and all heals can be got in item form that do the exact same thing. They just don't cost SP, don't cost MP. Now, magical attacking spells are a slightly different matter. The problem is that in any fight that you would actually want to use them, none of the debuffs work on bosses. The instant kill spells obviously don't work on bosses, right? You know, you wouldn't expect them to work on bosses. But also things like attack or damage down don't work on bosses. Poison doesn't work on bosses. It's a spell that doesn't work. The actual damage spells you can get a decent amount of damage out of them if you choose to use them against the boss, as long as the boss is weak against that. We saw that last stream when I used Crystales on Barda, and Fina, who is generally a very not good attacker, actually dealt more damage to Barda per turn than Vice did. So that is kind of a thing that can happen. But once again, it's why would I want to use a spell when I could just hit him? Why am I using my SP on a spell when I could be using my SP on, you know, like, well, again, really big damaging abilities? So, you know, spells just generally don't work well. Oh yeah, we got another champ. Awesome. So the other thing is, spell healing is fixed. Sakre will always heal 500. Sakrays will always heal 1,000. Sakrum will always heal 1,000 to all allies. And Sakarulin will always full heal. It does not matter how you use that spell. It doesn't matter if it's an item-based or, so 1,000 for one ally. So it doesn't matter if it's item-based. It doesn't matter if it is spell-based. It actually does not change how much you actually heal from the spells. Rissalem, which is the revive spell, will always revive you to full health, and it's 100% effective, no matter if you do it by way of a spell or item. So spells in general are just not good. Now, I will say, there are reasons to use spells, but in general, they're not good. Attacks are just so much better in this game. In fact, Aika herself, she actually shuts down enemy abilities to use spells. She has a ability that she uses called Delta Shield, which actually makes things makes it so enemies cannot actually use spells on you. Now the downside is you can't use spells on you, but that's another reason why items are better than spells. As I said, every buff effect and every healing effect can be gotten through an item. So I can use what's called Delta Shield. All of a sudden, I'm immune to enemy spells. They cannot cast spells to damage me. They cannot debuff me. They can't cast spells at me. I can't cast spells at myself, but I can still use items on myself, which means all of a sudden items are still better than spells. And then Fina has an ability called Lunar Winds, I believe is the ability name. She wipes away enemy buffs. And also, if you somehow got a debuff on yourself, she wipes, Lunar Cleansing will wipe away debuffs on yourself. So, in general, everything, just like the spells, are bottom of the barrel. They just do not work well. There are times that you will use them, as I said. What's very interesting is that healing spells and, see, this really sucks. Gilder actually, so he's actually pretty respectful to women, even though he's a complete womanizer. But he invites them to dinner. They say no. They head off. Well, it turns out he was going to invite them to have dinner with Vice. They would have been reunited, but the game story just went better. So if you use a healing spell out of combat, which is really interesting, it's still only... See, look, there they are, right there, if Vice had just looked up. Yeah, if they use a healing spell out of combat, it still only costs 1 MP, and there is no SP out of combat. So instead of using items, which you would want to use in combat, you use magic out of combat. Which actually works out fairly well. So, that's kind of how it ends up working out. The only spell that you will see me typically use...